Hi, I'm Brad Allen with Complete Guitar Lessons. Today we're going to be learning a new song based on two-fingered power chords, which we learned in the last video. So the tune we're going to work on today is Hang On Sloopy. Again, this is a very easy tune. We're going to start in the key of G. That's the 3rd fret. So I've got your first finger, your index finger on the 6th string, the 3rd fret. Your 3rd finger is on the 5th fret and the 5th string. That's your basic shape. So here's basically how the song goes. And the rhythm on the song is a little bit different. I think it's more like okay, and there's several things I want to point out here. When you're playing two-finger power chords like this, as opposed to open position power chords, you don't really have to muffle with your right hand. Because basically, as I let go of the strings, or let go of the frets rather, see, it automatically muffles it. So try that on your guitar a little bit. So I'm leaving my fingers on the strings. If I push them down all the way, then it keeps ringing. So anyway, you can control that with your left hand anytime you're playing a type of chord where you're muffling all the strings. So that's something to be aware of. So in one sense, it's actually easier to play some of these songs using this type of power chord than an open position power chord with open strings. The other thing that I wanted to point out, I mentioned in the last video you can move up and down the neck with these power chords. I just listened to the original recording by the McCoys, Hang On Sloopy, and it's actually in the key of G, so that's the right position to play it in. But if you said, that's a little high for me, vocally, well, you could just go down on the neck a little bit and play the same thing. Notice before I was on the 2 dots here, I'm on the 3rd dot and the 5th dot, and so when I'm moving down here, and then I move over, basically I'm just keeping my fingers on the dots. That's how you can look at the position there and kind of see where you have to go next for these 1, 4, 5 chords. Now, if I am not on the dots, if I go down one fret with both fingers, now I'm on the 2nd fret and I'm between the dots. It's the same thing. I play the same pattern. Now it's lower. I move over to the next place without the dot, which is the 4th fret. And the whole thing's just going to be down lower in pitch. If I started in G and I wanted to go higher to G sharp, I can move it up a half step. So when you're learning, what I would recommend, number one, is move it, learn it in one position, and then try move it in different positions on the neck. Try to get comfortable playing all over the place, all over the neck. The most difficult place is going to be to play in the, on the 1st fret. This is F, just because there's a lot of tension on the strings there, and there's a lot of spread. There's a lot of distance between the frets. So you may not be ready for that. You may have to start up. You may have to initially start all the way up on the 5th fret here to learn the song. If I want to move down to here. You can also play, in the last lesson we learned Louie Louie with open position chords. I think we learned it in the key of A. So if I wanted to play Louie Louie with two-fingered power chords, I can start on, the 5th fret here. So that's the 2nd dot over. And I can play Louie Louie there the same way I did before. It's a little easier to control because now I don't have any open strings. So the advantage to these two-fingered power chords again is you can move those around the neck, and keep the same shape. That's what a movable chord is. And when we get into bar chords, you'll see the advantage to those as well. You can move them around the neck. It's like moving the nut around. So bar chords a little bit harder to learn. That's why we don't start with those, but we will get to those. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and please share this video on social media. I'd really appreciate it. And we will see you next time.